Hello students, I'm Sai Baba here. So in the previous class, I have completed discussion of solutions for the questions in the assignment in thermodynamics up to question number 73. So I have already completed discussion of the solutions for the questions in the assignment in thermodynamics up to question number 73. So in this class, I am going to continue the discussion of the solutions and answers for the questions numbering from 74 onwards. Come on, look at the screen for question number 74 on screen. It is absorption reason question, which was given one of the previous All India Institute of Medical Science exam. So the absorption, I am going to read out the question. Thermodynamic process in nature are irreversible. Reason, dissipative effects cannot be eliminated. So if you want, as I discussed about the conditions of reversibility, that means if you want to carry out a reversible thermodynamic process, there are some conditions which I discussed in the theory part. So one of the conditions is that to carry out reversible process, the process must be quasi-static. That means the system should be never far away from the equilibrium state, and dissipative forces like friction, air resistance, inelasticity should be completely absent, because when the system passes from one state A, I mean one thermodynamic equilibrium state A to another thermodynamic equilibrium state B by some process, then in the process is reversible, we should be able to retrace the path. That means we should be able to carry out same changes in the opposite sense. So which is possible only when there is no friction. If friction or dissipative force are present, whatever work is done against friction cannot be converted back to internal energy or cannot be recovered back in any other form of energy. So work or energy lost due to friction or dissipative forces will be a permanent loss for the system. It cannot be again converted back to internal system. So therefore, for this question, first option is answer. That is, both absorption reason are true and reason is the correct explanation of absorption. Look at the next question 75. It is also based on the same reasoning, which is also again you can observe given repeated in All India Institute of Medical Entrance, All India Institute of Medical Science exam 2005. Reversible systems are difficult to find in real world. Assumption is reversible systems are difficult to find in real world. Reason, most processes are dissipative in nature. So reversible systems are, it is difficult to find a true reversible system in nature because most processes are dissipative in nature because there exists some friction and or air resistance or some dissipative forces acting on the system in every process in nature. So here also first option is the answer. So next look at the question number 76. This question was also given one of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences exam aims in one of the previous exam papers. Absorption reason, look at the question number 76. Absorption. The Carnot cycle is useful in understanding the performance of heat engines. Reason, the Carnot cycle provides a way of determining the maximum possible efficiency achievable with reservoirs of given temperatures. From Carnot's theorem, as I discussed about the statement of the Carnot's theorem. So from Carnot's theorem, we can say that the maximum possible efficiency of a heat engine working between two temperatures T1 and T2 is given by E equal to 1 minus T2 by T1, where T2 is less than T1. T1 is called the temperature of the source, hot body. T2 is the temperature of cold body, called temperature of sink. So efficiency of, so for any heat engine working between the same two temperatures, the efficiency cannot be greater than the efficiency for a Carnot's heat engine. Therefore, if you know the efficiency of a real heat engine in practice, and by comparing the efficiency of the real heat engine, which is measured by dividing the efficiency of real heat engine can be found by dividing the work done by the system during a cyclic process divided by the heat absorbed by the working substance during the cycle. You can calculate the true efficiency of a heat engine. By comparing the true efficiency or efficiency of real heat engine with the efficiency of reversible Carnot heat engine that works between the same temperatures, you can find out how good the real heat engine is. That means how close the efficiency of heat engine to the maximum possible efficiency of reversible heat engine. That means if the efficiency of a real heat engine is close to the efficiency of reversible heat engine working between the same two temperatures, which is given 1 minus T2 by T1, then you can say the heat engine is more efficient. So both here also first option will be the answer. So look at the question number 77. This question was also given one of the previous AIMS exam, that is All India Institute of Medical Sciences entrance exam. Look at this question number 77. Assertion: for an isothermal process in an ideal gas, the heat absorbed by the gas is entirely used in the work done by the gas. That is assertion. Reason: so during a process taking place in a system, the temperature remains constant, then the process is isothermal. As I discussed earlier, the theory part in isothermal process. So for an ideal gas, in isothermal process, the temperature remains constant. The internal energy of an ideal gas, the internal energy of fixed mass of an ideal gas with a given atomicity, directly proportional to the absolute temperature of gas. So if the temperature of the gas is constant, the internal energy of the gas will be constant. Or we can say the change in the internal energy of the gas will be zero. So applying first law of thermodynamics, delta Q is equal to delta U plus W, delta W. Delta U is 0 for the ideal gas in isothermal process. Therefore, heat absorbed by the gas in isothermal process, the heat absorbed by an ideal gas, fixed mass of an ideal gas in isothermal process, is entirely used to perform the external work during the expansion. And no part of the heat is used to increase the internal energy system. So here also, first option will be the answer. That is both assertion. That means delta Q is equal to delta W. The reason is temperature is constant. So first option is answer even for question number 77. So look at the question number 78. Conversion of water to steam is accompanied by which process? There are 4 options on screen. You can see adiabatic, isothermal, isochoric, cyclic. So you cannot call the conversion of water to steam as the adiabatic process because heat energy is absorbed by the water. So heat energy absorbed by the water, when it changes into steam, it is called mass of the water which is converted into steam into multiplied by the latent heat of steam. Which is not equal to 0, which is greater than 0. Therefore, the process cannot be adiabatic. And when water changes into steam, there will be large increase in the volume. During vaporization, there will be large increase in volume. So when water changes into steam or vapor, there will be large increase in the volume. Therefore, volume does not remain constant. Delta Q is not 0, volume is not constant. Therefore, the process cannot be an isochoric process. The process cannot be adiabatic. So this cannot be called a cyclic process because it does not return back to the initial state. So the conversion of water to steam takes place at a constant temperature equal to the boiling point of water. Suppose the pure water is boiled in an open vessel at atmospheric pressure. Then it boils at 100 degrees centigrade. Once water in an open vessel begins to boil at 100 degrees centigrade, the temperature of the boiling water remains constant at 100 degrees centigrade until the entire mass of the water is completely converted into steam. Therefore, temperature remains constant during the change of state. Therefore, the process can be called as isothermal. So, second option will be the answer. Then next, look at the question number 79. An ideal gas is taken through the cycle A to B, B to C, C to A, as shown in the figure. The net heat supplied to the gas in the cycle is 5 joules. The work done by the gas in the process A to B is, you can observe there are 4 options on the screen. So work done by the gas in a cyclic process is equal to total work done. The net work done by the gas cyclic process is equal to the area below the PV graph and the volume axis. The total work done by the gas during cycle. So in the process A to B, there is a decrease in the volume. Volume decreases from 4 cubic meter to cubic meter. So work is done on the gas in the process A to B because volume at B is less than the volume at B. In the process B to C, volume is constant, so no work is done. The process C to A, volume of the gas is increasing. So work is done by the gas in the process C to A. So area below the line CA and volume axis, this shaded area, gives you work done by the gas during the expansion in the process C to A. But area of this trapezium between the line AB and volume axis, well, this is D, suppose this is E. So area of the trapezium ABD gives you the work done on the gas in the process A to B, which is more than the work done by the gas in the process C to A. So net work is done on the gas. So net work done net work done on the gas during the cycle is equal to area of triangle ABC. Using the formula for area of triangle equal half into base into height. That is half into base CA into height is CB. That is half into CA you can write 4 minus 2 cubic meters. CB you can write. Of course, you have to consider pressure, product of pressure coordinate value. So, base is BC. CB equal to, they are not given the pressure coordinated V. Therefore, this method cannot be used to calculate total work done. So, therefore, we use the principle for cyclic process. So, net heat absorbed by the gas during the cyclic process, net change in temperature of the gas in the cyclic process, plus net work done by the gas in the cyclic. So, net heat energy supplied to the gas in the cyclic process is given as 5 joules. Net change in temperature of the gas cyclic process will be 0 joules because the gas ultimately finally returns to the original state here. Net work done by the gas in the process, cyclic process, because work done by the gas in the process A to B, you can first find net work done. So, net work done is 5 joules. So, this net work done by the gas, you can write work done by the gas in the process from A to B, plus work done by the gas in the process from B to C, plus work done by the gas in the process from C to A. Net work done is 5 joules. So, work done by the gas in the process from A to B, you have to calculate. Work done by the gas in the process from B to C will be 0 because volume of the gas is constant in the process B to C. So, work done by the gas in the process C to A. In the process C to A, pressure is constant. If pressure is constant, work done by the gas is given by P delta V. That is pressure into change in the volume. That is final volume at A. That change in the volume of the gas, delta V is equal to final volume at A minus initial volume at C. So, that will be pressure is 1 Newton per meter square. Volume at A is 4 cubic meter. Volume at C is 2 cubic meters. So, work done by the gas in the process C to A will be 2 joules. So, you can take a pause and copy the calculation and complete the calculation. So, you get work done by the gas in the process from A to B as 3 joules. So, third option will be the answer. That means this part of the calculation is not needed to solve the problem. But still I have done this way because most of students usually whenever they are given cyclic process PV diagram, they start calculating the area or calculate the work done. So that can be done. This method can be used only if you are given the pressure at both the points B and C. But you are not given the pressure at B here. Therefore, this method is not suitable for this particular problem. You have to solve this way. Okay. So please finish, take a pause and finish copying the working. Look at the next question, question number 80. A Carnot refrigerator extracts heat from water at 0 degree centigrade and rejects it to room at 24.4 degree centigrade. The work required by the refrigerator For every 1 kg of water converted into ice is, this problem is given on the Carnot's refrigerator, which makes use of the Carnot cycle. So the lower temperature from where the heat is removed, the temperature of the lower temperature, I mean temperature of the body at lower temperature from where heat is extracted. Refrigerator extracts, removes heat from colder place to the hotter place. Temperature of the colder place is 0 degree centigrade or 273 plus 0 Kelvin. The temperature of the hotter place to which heat is pumped out is 24.4 degree centigrade. So 273 plus 24.4 Kelvin. They are asked to calculate the work required to be done by the refrigerator to convert 1 kg of water into ice. So the heat removed from colder place to the hotter place, we denote it by Q2. Heat removed from colder place, denoted by Q2. That is equal to 1 kg of water changes into freezes to form ice. The heat energy lost is equal to mass into latent heat of fusion of ice. Here mass of water is 1 kg. The latent heat of fusion of ice is 336 kilojoule per kg. So heat removed from colder place is 336 kilojoules. Now, from the theory I have discussed earlier for refrigerator, the actual amount of heat transferred to the hotter place from colder place is equal to heat removed from colder place plus work done on the refrigerant, on the work done by the refrigerator. That is, the work required can be written as Q1 minus Q2. You are given Q2, therefore you divide both sides with Q2. So in the case of a Carnot cycle, you can write Q1 by Q2. The refrigerator makes use of Carnot cycle. Q1 by Q2, you can write T1 by T2. Q2 by Q2 is 1. Now you can substitute all these values and simplify further. So W equal to T1 minus T2 by T2 into Q2. So T1 minus T2 can subtract directly T2 from T1. That is first equation from second. 273 gets cancelled. You get T1 minus T2 equal 24.4 Kelvin by T2 273 into Q2 is 336 kilojoules. So those who want to copy the working, please take a pause and finish writing this working. So the closest answer for this is first question. This was given one of the previous MCET exam papers. So I am going to see the next question. Look at the question number 81. Look at the question number 81. A thermodynamic system is taken from initial state I with internal energy UI equal 100 joules to the final state F along two different paths, IAF and IBF, as schematically shown in the figure. The work done by the system along the paths AF, IB and BF are WAF equal to 100 joules, WIB equal to 50 joules, and WBF equal to 100 joules, respectively. The heat supplied to system along the path IAF, IB and BF are QIAF, QIB and QBF, respectively. The entire system in the state B is UB equal to 100 joules and QIAF equal to 500 joules. The ratio QBF by QIB is. So, of course, this problem is originally given the 2014 IIT JEE exam. But the solution to the problem within the scope of other entrance examinations also. You can observe that in the process from I to A, volume is constant. So therefore no work is done. So applying the first law of thermodynamics, because we are given QIAF, can apply the first law of thermodynamics for the process QIAF. That means for path IAF, heat absorbed by the gas in the path IAF, we can write change in internal energy of the system for the path IAF is equal to internal energy in the final state F minus internal energy initial state I plus work done for the path IAF. That means we are simply first using, let us write the first law of thermodynamics in mathematical form. Delta Q is equal to delta U plus delta W. So for the path IAF, delta Q denoted by IAF, delta U for this path IAF is equal to internal energy in the final state F minus internal energy in the initial state F. Delta W, that means the work done by the system along the path IAF is equal to work done for path from I to A plus work done by the system for the path from A to F. So QIAF is given as 500 joules. UF is internal system in the final state F. Internal energy of system in the initial state I is given to be 100 joules. In the process from I to A, the volume is constant. X coordinate is constant for the straight line I to A. So volume is constant, so it is an isochoric process. So for the process I to A, volume is constant, work done by the system in the process I to A is 0 joules. So work done by the system in the process A to F is given as 200 joules. So you can simplify this equation to find UF, that is internal energy system in the final state F. It comes out to be 400 joules. So then you are given the internal system in the state P also. Now we can consider the path IBF, because you are given the work done for path IB and also work done for BF. So for path IBF, We're asked to find heat absorbed for the path IP, and first we'll consider I to be. For I to be, you can write delta Q equal to Q IB, which you are asked to find. Delta U is the interaction of the system in the state B minus interaction of the system in the state I. In the process I to B, work done is given as 50 joules. And you are given the interaction system in the state B and interaction system in state I. So UB is given as 200 joules, UI is given as 100 joules. Therefore, QIB comes out to be 150 joules. Next, you have to find QIB, we have calculated QBF. So, for the thermodynamic path, for the process from B to F, delta Q, you can write QBF. Delta U is equal to energy in the final state F minus energy in the state B plus W for PF. Energy in the final state F, we got it as 400 joules here. Energy in the state B is given as 200 joules. Work done for the path BF is given as 100 joules here. So, those who want to copy the working can take a pause and copy the working. So, if you divide QBF with QIB, QBF you get 300 joules, QIB has 150 joules. So, the ratio will be 2. So, answer will be 2. Those who want to copy the working, please take a pause and copy the working. So for the question 81, just discuss now. Second option, answer it to, it's not, there are no options here. It's an integer question. Of course, I have given the options there. Now, second option will be the answer. So look at the question number 82. It is impossible to convert total heat into work. This was enunciated by. So a direct question based on the statement of the second law of thermodynamics, which I already given you the statements of the second law of thermodynamics. One is the Clausius statement, other is the Kelvin-Planck statement. So you can direct question, you already answer is given to you. Then look at the question number 83. Heat cannot flow by itself from a cold body to hot body without the aid of any external agency. This is also a direct question. It is impossible to transfer heat from a colder place to a hotter place without the expenditure of any work by the external agent. So this is also another form of second law of thermodynamics which I discussed in the past. See the question number 84. Which of the following statements refer to second law of thermodynamics? There are 4 statements. I am going to read out these statements. Statement 1. Perpetual motion of first kind is impossible. All the heat can be transferred from low temperature region to high temperature region. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. This third statement is implied by the first law of thermodynamics, not second law of thermodynamics. Fourth statement, it is impossible to convert heat completely to mechanical energy. So fourth statement refers to the second law of thermodynamics. From second law of thermodynamics, it is impossible to transfer the heat absorbed from a given place by the system to completely convert into work without leaving any part of it anywhere. So fourth option will be the answer. It's also based on the statement of second law of thermodynamics. As I discussed earlier, the two different statements for the second law of thermodynamics, but which are equivalent statements. You should not call them as different statements. One statement is equivalent to other statement. So from second law of thermodynamics, we can say that it is impossible to construct a device which operating in a cyclic process can completely convert heat into work. As I discussed in the beginning, introduction part for second law of thermodynamics, that given an amount of work or mechanical energy can be completely converted into heat. The simpler example for this is a fast moving bullet suddenly stopped. All the kinetic energy lost or mechanical energy lost gets converted into heat. So it is possible to convert a given amount of mechanical work or mechanical energy into heat, but conversely is not possible. From second law of thermodynamics, you can say that it is impossible to construct a device which operating in a cyclic process converts given amount of heat completely into work. So the second, that means this is not possible. It's not possible to convert a given amount of heat completely into work. That means there is basically some asymmetry in nature. Symmetry means when you are able to convert a given amount of work completely into heat, one may think that it may be also possible to convert given amount of heat completely into work. Of course, theoretically speaking, from first law of thermodynamics will not be violated or will not forbidden the complete conversion of heat into work. But in real world, I mean actual practice, it is not possible to convert the given amount of heat completely into work, which explained you in the past when I discussed second law of thermodynamics. That means there is some asymmetry in nature. Complete conversion of work into heat is possible, but complete conversion of heat into work is not possible. So this second law of thermodynamics indicates this asymmetry in nature. So if you see the question number 85, second law of thermodynamics is an indication of first option, asymmetry in nature. So first option is the answer for this question. Let us see the other option. Asymmetry in nature, this cannot be. Heat energy can be completely converted completely into work. That's wrong, according to second law of thermodynamics. And so the first law of thermodynamics is a consequence of first law of thermodynamics is a consequence of conservation of energy. The second law of thermodynamics does not directly indicate about law of conservation of energy. That means second law of thermodynamics indicates the processes which do not violate conservation of energy may not be possible. There are some processes which do not violate the law of conservation of energy but still not possible to take place in nature. So the limitations of first law of thermodynamics are indicated in the second law of thermodynamics. So first option is the answer. Look at the next question, number 86. Is also consider the following statements A and B and identify the correct answer given below. Statement A, we can convert a given quantity of work completely into heat. Statement B, we cannot make a device by which a given amount of heat can be completely converted into work, which I just discussed now. It is possible to convert a given amount of mechanical work into heat, but it's not, conversely is not possible. It's not possible to convert given amount of heat completely into work. That means both the statements A and B are true. So first, among the four options shown on the screen, first option is also. Look at the question number 87. Consider the statement A and B and identify the correct answer. First law of thermodynamics specifies the conditions under which a body can use its heat energy to produce the work. Statement B, second law of thermodynamics states that heat always flows from hot body to cold body by itself. So here statement A is not correct because it's the second law of thermodynamics which specifies the conditions under which a body can use heat energy to work. That means it's not possible to complete convert of heat into work. That is indicated by second law of thermodynamics, not by the first law of thermodynamics. Of course, from second law of thermodynamics, one of the statements of second law of thermodynamics says that heat cannot spontaneously flow from cold body to hot body without expenditure of any mechanical work. That means spontaneous flow of heat takes place from hot body to cold body. So statement B is correct. Statement A is wrong. This question was given originally in 2005 MCET exam in the medical entrance. So A is false, B is true, fourth option is answer. So look at the question number 88. The door of a running refrigerator inside a room is left open. The correct statement out of the following ones is. You can read out the statements which I already shown this question earlier. So as I discussed about the refrigerator, I mean acts of refrigerator and Carnot's refrigerator. Basically, refrigerator transfers heat from a colder place or colder region to hotter place. That means the refrigerator transfers heat from the interior of the refrigerator, from the refrigerant to the surrounding room. And this is done at the expense of energy supplied by the electric motor. So if the door of the refrigerator is left open, the process becomes more faster. Because when the door of the refrigerator is kept open, then some heat energy will flow from the front, from the room into the refrigerator, in the interior of the refrigerator from the front. When the door of the refrigerator left open, some heat energy will, natural convection. By natural convection and conduction, there will be transfer of heat energy from the room into the refrigerator when the door is kept open from the front door, from the front. Therefore, to keep the objects, the substances inside the refrigerator in a cool condition, the refrigerator has to transfer greater quantity of heat from inside into the surrounding room. That means when the door of the refrigerator is kept open, more heat will be pumped out by the refrigerator into the surrounding room per second. Therefore, the room will be warmed up gradually. So second option will be the answer. So look at the question number 89. This question you find in the board intermediate textbook, academic book I observed. I think originally given one of the previous all India exams. 5 moles of an ideal gas when heated through 20 Kelvin expand by an amount of 8.3 into 10 power minus 3 cubic meter under a constant pressure of 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square. If CV equal 20 joule per mole per Kelvin, find Cp. You are given the number of moles of the gas, increase in temperature, increase in the volume and pressure of the gas, and given that pressure is constant. To find Cp, you have to find the molar gas constant, because we know the difference between the molar specific constant pressure and molar specific constant volume is equal to the molar gas constant. So at constant pressure, from perfect gas equation, you can write P delta V equal to nu R delta T. Where nu is the number of moles of the gas. So therefore, molar gas constant or can be written as P delta V by nu into delta T. P is given to be 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square. Delta V is the increase of volume that is given to be 8.3 into 10 power minus 3 cubic meter. Nu is the number of moles of gas which is given to 5 moles. Delta T is increase in temperature of gas that is given to 20 Kelvin. So if you simplify this, you get R equal to 8.3 joule per mole per Kelvin. We have difference in the molar specific constant pressure and molar specific constant volume is equal to molar gas constant for any ideal gas. So molar specific constant pressure can be done molar specific constant volume plus molar gas constant. So that will be 20 plus 8.3 SI units. Or molar specific constant pressure you can write 28.3 joule per mole per Kelvin. So if you want to copy the solution of the problem, take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. So look at the question number 90. A refrigerator is driven by 1002 watt electric motor. The refrigerator can be treated as a reversible heat engine operating between 0 degree centigrade and room temperature which is 20 degree centigrade. The time required by to freeze 81.9 kg of water which is at 0 degree centigrade is. So as I explained in one similar question earlier, the work done by the refrigerator to transfer or remove an amount of heat Q2 from colder place at temperature T2, which in this case is equal to 273 plus 0 Kelvin, to the hotter place, that is to the room at temperature T1, that is 273 plus 20 or 20 Kelvin, is given by Q2 into T1 by T2 minus 1. So here you can write the work done by the refrigerator is equal to power into time, power of the motor used for refrigerator into time. Quantity of heat removed is equal to the mass of water freezed out into latent heater. Fusion of ice. Q2 can be M into Li. M is the mass of water freezed. That you can write into T1 minus T2 by T2. So the power is given to be 1002 watt. To find the time T here, the mass of water to be freezed is 81.9 kg. Latent heat of fusion of ice is given 334 kilojoule per kg. That is 334 into 10 cube joule per kg. So T1 minus T2 will be 20 Kelvin divided by T2 is 273 Kelvin. Those who want to copy the solution of the problem, take a pause and copy the solution of the problem. You can observe that 273 can be cancelled directly in 819 3 times. So 273 can be straight away cancelled 0.3 times in 81.9. Now can easy to simplify it. You'll get the answer in seconds if you simplify it. Take a pause and complete the calculation and simplification.